Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a classic get ready with me. I am playing with a bunch of fun new makeup and I'm going to be doing a little review on the Guerlain L'Essential. This is the High Perfection 24-hour foundation. I also am going to pull out the Meteorites. We'll be playing with those two products. I'm going to be creating an everyday eye with a beautiful Dior quint. And then I picked up the olive brocade eyeliner from Chantecaille. So we're going to be pulling that out. We will be ending with my favorite new lipstick from NARS. And then I have a new fragrance of the day that I cannot wait to share with you. So if you are interested in seeing how I created this look, playing with some new makeup, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we are going to play with the Guerlain. This is the L'Essential 24-hour High Perfection foundation. So I have been playing with this lovely foundation. So I picked this up from Selfridges. There is 30 different shades. So you guys, there is a nice wide range of shades and it does share some tips and tricks of how to wear this. So this foundation touts that it uses 96% of naturally derived ingredients. Now, that being said, it still contains fragrance in it. So if you are someone who is sensitive to fragrance, you're going to want to give a pass to this. This is how I felt with the other foundation, the glowy version of this, was that they slightly missed the mark by sort of touting this as sort of a natural foundation, but then including that fragrance. So Guerlain is a fragrance house, so it makes sense that they put fragrance in their products, but I just want to mention that right off the bat. If you have a sensitivity to fragrance, you're going to want to go ahead and pass on this one. So on the Selfridges site, it kind of walks you through of how to use this foundation. Now it does come with a foundation brush. I did not pick that up, but it was recommending to first sort of activate the skin by rubbing that brush over the complexion. So what I usually do, you guys, is I actually use my chantecaille. This is their bio lifting massage tool. I use this every single day. It is like one of the best products I've ever used. And what I will do every day is do a little bit of massage just to kind of rev up my complexion here. So far on my skin, I have just prepped it with skin care, and then I will take this tool and I use this to kind of really penetrate like my serums and my creams and such. But I just wanted to show you, instead of using a brush, I'm going to increase a little circulation by using my little chantecaille brush. Then the next step that they are recommending is to use one of their products as a primer. They are suggesting their Royal Watery Oil Primer, and I do not have that. I was looking around. I swear I have like a sample of it and I would love to try it, but I can't seem to put my hands on it. So I'm just going to use my Rose de Mai. This is from Chantecaille. This is one of the oils that I really enjoy, and we are going to put a few little drops of that to prime the skin, because I have tried this foundation without a primer or without using an oil before, and I did feel like I personally, having dry skin, need to prime the skin first with this particular foundation. So just FYI, 52, more mature dry skin. So using the foundation on its own, I didn't think personally looked the best. So we are going to prime the skin with a little bit of that oil. And the reason I love this Rose de Mai oil is because it is sort of like a dry oil, not a dry, but it moisturizes your skin, but it doesn't feel slick or sticky. It's going to kind of just absorb in and give your skin a nice little glow. Now I ended up picking this shade out in 02 Neutral, and this is 02 Neutral. And the way that it describes of how to do it is to actually place it on your brush. I'm going to be using my Dior. This is the Backstage brush, but it's a nice little buffing brush. You can also use your fingertips. I'm just following the rules, and I put one pump on here, and we are just going to first kind of dot that onto the skin. And then I'm going to take a minute to buff this in to my skin here. Okay guys, so this is basically like one pump, and then I did use the swatch. So just about a pump and a pinch more of that foundation. And I believe that this is being described as a skin-like kind of foundation. Um, and I'm finding that it has a little bit of glow to it, but yes, I prime my skin with that little oil. And for myself, I really need that. So when I wore it on its own, I did feel like it made my skin look a little bit what I would consider dead looking. Just didn't bring a lot of life to my skin. And so I do recommend that if you have dry skin, you definitely might want to try priming it with the oil ahead of time if you're interested in this foundation. I, of course, wanted to give it a try and had many people request that I give it a little review. So this is what this looks like so far. Then we will be topping it off with the meteorites to give it another little extra glow, but I'm going to first finish off my face, and then we will use these as the finishing powder. Okay, I'm going to move on to eyes, and essentially, you guys, I had a request to pull out my Dior. This is Nude Dress, and this is one of these kind of warm, beautiful, everyday eye quints. And yes, I did pick up the Dior Blooming Bouquet. So that is on its way, as well as some Suku palettes and of course the new Chanel launch. So all of those goodies will be coming, so please stay tuned for that. So I'm going to start first with this beautiful peach right here in the center, and I am going to place that basically in the crease all over my lid to start. So this just gives me a nice wash of that kind of warm peach color. And then I actually like to go into this shade over here to deepen in the crease in the outer V. So I'm using the other side. I'm actually using the shader blender from Chanel. And I'm going to go ahead and use the other side here, kind of the flat brush. I'm taking Rougher number 3, which is one of these like pencil pro kind of brushes, and I'm sticking it back into that warm, sticking it back into that brown, and I'm going to come and just kind of line close to the lash line first, just sort of defining the eyes with that color and using a little underneath. Now I purposely didn't put concealer on yet because we'll be cleaning, kind of brightening up underneath the eye. But next I'm going to take this pretty color right here. Such a pretty color, you guys. You can use your fingertip or another brush, but basically I am going to be putting that right on that lid. And that's going to kind of give you this really soft, pretty, I would call that kind of an amber bronze shade. I'm going to close my eyes and show you what I have so far. Then I'm coming in with this pretty kind of vanilla shade, and I am going to kind of take this. I'm using the Sonia G. This is her Pencil Pro, and I'm just going to stick a little bit of that right in that inner corner. We'll blend that out, but lighten that up just a little bit. And then I use whatever's left on the brush, and I'm just going to bring that up into that brow bone. Okay, I'm taking a big fluffy brush, you guys, and I am just going to blend everything. Make sure there's no harsh edges here. I'm just doing a soft eye today, everyday eye today, so not super glam here. Okay guys, we've kind of got a little warm wash of color on the eyes. Then I thought what I would do today is have a little fun. I'm going to bring in a little bit of green, and I have the chantecaille. This is olive brocade, and we're going to bring in a little bit of green kind of with these peach and bronzy tones. So this is olive brocade, and it is exactly what is described as kind of a rich olive green, and it works fantastic as kind of an everyday eyeliner that is going to be a little bit different from my browns and my kind of charcoals that I tend to use. So I'm going to come in and we are going to play with a little bit of that, and I'm just going to come in near the lash line first. We'll see if this pops my hazel eyes. Don't you love it when you have a brand new eyeliner? It's like perfectly sharpened. Okay, we've got that olive brocade on. Clearly I need to put on mascara, clean up my brows, and then we will finish off the face. Okay guys, we have on eyeballs, and then I'm going to put a little bit of concealer under here. I'm going to be using my Chanel. This is the Rose Corrector, and I kind of just use it like concealer, and I just use a little bit, guys, but this always works great after putting on eyeshadow and eyeliner, and when I want to kind of clean up my eyes after the fact. So make sure your ring fingers are clean. Had a little bit of olive brocade on there, and I'm just going to take my ring fingers, and then what I will do is kind of work this down and kind of underneath the eye, so then it'll kind of clean it up after the fact. And I'm someone who still likes to put on my foundation first, kind of like the canvas before doing eyes, but I know some people do eyes first and then skin, so no right or wrong kind of rules. I just tend to like kind of even out the complexion first. But I have been kind of doing concealer after I do eyes. I just feel like it kind of cleans up the eyes after the fact, and if there was any fallout, I can kind of clean it up then. Okay, let's warm up the skin first. I brought out one of the classic Guerlain. This is one of their healthy glow tanning powders, and this one happens to be in deep golden, so I'm kind of playing up on those kind of peachy coral tones today. Now I do love these kind of as a one-stop shop. You can even kind of use it as a bronzer and a blush. It picks up a little bit. I'm going to use my little bronzer brush here. We're going to take a little bit of product and we'll warm up the skin here. And you guys, these powders are so pretty. I have actually 2 of them. Guerlain is obviously known for their bronzers. That was how I got into the brand originally, way back when, buying one of the terracotta bronzers. So we are going to give myself a little bit of a glow today. And then we are going to finish with the meteorites. So you guys, I got caught up in the whole meteorites thing. I picked these up in medium this time. I had previously had them in Clair or the lightest shade, and I decided to go up a little bit of a step, and we'll put these on. And we're going to just dust these all over the skin to give me a glow maker here. So I am going to use my La Mer brush, and I'm just going to, whoopsie, I'm going to tap a little bit here. And these are multicolored, so they're kind of supposed to color correct as well as give you a little glow on the skin. So we will dust these on. Okay guys, here is the complexion with the foundation as well as the meteorites. Okay, I'm bringing you in close for a reason, but I just wanted to share, I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see this on camera, and this happened the other day. I have like a little dry spot here, and the foundation did kind of pick up on that, and I've got like a little dry flake right over here. And that happens with foundations that I find are just maybe a tad bit drying for my more mature skin. Not a huge deal, but I definitely needed to prep with that oil ahead of time. So for anybody who is looking at this foundation, I do think it's probably a little bit better for someone with kind of like oily, normal to oily, or combo skin. If you have dry skin, you can still use this. It is going to look more natural, but it does pick up on any, if you have a little bit of texture or a little bit of dry flakes on the skin. I did find that to be the case. So just giving you my thoughts so far on that. And then I'm feeling like I want to put just a teeny bit of blush, like a little bit of a contrast. I've got a lot of like kind of bronzy, peachy coral. I'm actually going to put a teeny bit of pink on my cheeks. I know this looks scary. I promise it's just going to kind of contrast that kind of monotone look. We're just going to give myself just a teeny splash of this pink here. Just a little bit on the apples, just to kind of liven up the all over look. Then for lips, we are going to use the NARS. This is from their limited edition Claudette collection, and this is in Augustine. And you guys, this is the perfect kind of taupey pink beige color, and it's a fantastic everyday shade. And this is the shade Augustine. And then, of course, we are going to end with a fragrance of the day. And I finally got my hands on Angel's Share. This is by Kilian. And you guys, I'm laughing at myself because I've had FOMO. I have tried to purchase this 3 times. 3 of my orders have been canceled because this is such a popular perfume, and it is for good reason. So I knew I would love this from the get-go, but I was slow to the take, and then it just sold out everywhere. But let's take a moment to look at the beautiful bottle that it comes in. This is actually from the Kilian Liquors collection, and so this is supposed to kind of be like a cocktail. This is supposed to be like a crystal cocktail glass, and that is exactly what it looks like. It is so beautiful. And you guys, this is a warm, rich, intoxicating fragrance. Let's go ahead and put some on. This is a woody, sweet, warm, spicy, touch of cinnamon, touch of vanilla. It's got a beautiful amber base, and it actually dries down to a bit of a soft, powdery, kind of warm, delicious kind of fragrance. So you guys, I'm so excited. I really love this. I've been wearing it nonstop since it showed up, and it is just one of those that is also sort of a crowd pleaser. My husband likes the smell of this, my daughter likes this, and it's just another one of these kind of warm, cozy kind of fragrances, but there is a little bit of a sort of aromatic or sort of lightness to this as well. So the top note in here is cognac. Now, I think maybe that was the first one. I wasn't sure if I was going to want this because this is going to be kind of a little bit boozy, a little bit resinous, and I'm not even someone who even drinks, so I was laughing. I was like, do I really want to smell like cognac? But evidently I do. This also has middle notes of cinnamon, tonka, and oak, and I definitely feel like I do smell that little bit of that oak. Like it does smell like this is sort of like a cognac that's been in an oak barrel, and then it's been lightened up with a touch of sweetness, a touch of that vanilla and cinnamon. It's just really beautiful and warm and cozy, but then again, the dry down has that really beautiful kind of powder that is not choky, but it doesn't wear super heavy or cloying. In the base, we've got praline, vanilla, and sandalwood. So you can see there's a little bit of this creaminess in there, touch of sweetness, but to me, this is not overly, it is definitely not overly sweet or cloying. I do know some of those can be that way. This is a beautiful, gourmand, warm, cozy, beautiful fragrance. And so many of you told me that I would absolutely love this, that I've got to get my hands on it, and I was slow to the draw 3 different times. So when this finally did show up, I was so excited. I was going to say it gives me similar vibes. I was going to say it gives me a little bit of similar vibes to the Dior Fave Delicious. And this one, to me, which I love, is a stronger powder bomb. So I love this one, but I definitely have to be in that kind of mood to be wearing a strong powder bomb. This is a beautiful gourmand fragrance, just beautiful, but this one is going to be a little bit softer and more wearable, especially if you're someone who does not love powdery scents. You're going to like this one because it's a slight dry down that's slightly powdery, because it has a slight powdery dry down, but it is not a choking kind of powder. This to me just makes me want to put on a cashmere sweater, get around the fireplace, maybe have some baking, maybe have some scones kind of baking in the oven with that little cinnamon and that bourbon vanilla in there. That is what this evokes for me, is being around a fireplace, baking. Maybe it's one of those days that might be a little bit snowy or a little bit raining, and you just want to feel that cozy, luxurious feel. This is going to be just that, and I just love it. So you guys, let me know what your thoughts are on this. I know many of you already own this and have been telling me to get it, so I am so happy I got my hands on it. Now, as far as this foundation, I thought I would do a check-in today just so you can see how this wears. This again is one of those kind of foundations that I think looks a little bit better towards the end of the day. It has a very nice skin-like kind of finish to it, but I wouldn't say that I was completely but I wouldn't say that I was completely blown away that I'm like, you must go get this foundation, just because I am someone with dry skin and I feel like I definitely had to do these steps in order to make this work for me. So if you have also picked this up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and I will be back with a check-in just so you can kind of see how this wore throughout the day. So I will be back, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Okay, guys, doing a check-in. It has been kind of a crazy day. I have been running errands, doing Zoom calls and such, but I wanted to go ahead. I've been wearing this foundation for about 10 hours. I'm not going to do a 24-hour wear because I'm never going to wear a foundation for 24 hours. I wouldn't want to, but I did want to give you an update on how this wears, and this is where I end up kind of really liking this foundation because I feel like it looks like skin. So I went to my resident critic, who is my daughter. I don't know what we're gonna do when she goes off to college because she is the one who will kind of really give me the skinny on foundations. And so this one, she says she can't tell that I'm wearing makeup. So it is very skin-like. And let me bring you in. And this is what it looks like after 10 hours of wear on my skin. And I have not touched up, guys. So you're gonna see I've got a little shine coming through my T-zone. But if you can kind of see, it kind of looks like skin. I don't think it looks like I'm wearing a ton of makeup. So, but the one thing I will say is, yes, I really do have to prime my skin with this foundation. I am not someone who does that with every foundation, but I do need to use sort of an oil. I'm going to play around with a few other primers as well to see if I have one that I think is the perfect combo. And I guess I would be curious to see how this wears on oily skin as well as combination. I have a feeling this might be just absolutely fantastic. So in conclusion, I would say if you are a fan of this brand, if you are looking for a sort of natural skin-like foundation that is very long wearing, then I would definitely check this out. I did purchase this from Selfridges, and this does come in 30 different shades, which is fantastic. I will say, yes, it does contain a touch of fragrance. I am someone with sensitive skin, and it has not caused me any issues, but again, if that is the case, you're going to want to pass. So you guys, that's my final thoughts on this foundation. You guys let me know if you picked it up, what your thoughts are so far on this, and I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. I'll be back with another video soon.